You wouldn't believe the epic levels of bizarre the WNBA just reached. Almost like the beginning of a joke. What do you get when you combine a former Heisman Trophy winner with Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese's mom, and a video game? We'll get into a wild day in the W. Plus, NBA #1 overall draft pick Cooper Flagg squares off against Bronny James in prime time with courtside seats fetching over $3,000. And I'll guarantee you one thing about Cooper Flagg's NBA future. All that and much more straight ahead. I'm Doug Kezirian, and this is Hard Pass, and we are available wherever you get your podcasts. What a hoop scoop we have in the WNBA, which is undefeated when it comes to unnecessary controversy and negative PR. I call it like I see it. All in a single day that ended with making you wonder whether a former Heisman Trophy winner, stud athlete with over 2 million followers on social media, lied just to involve himself in the day's biggest story. And here, the W thought it was going to have a positive day of celebrating Angel Reese. Oh no, we can't have that. Controversy always finds a way to rear its ugly head in the WNBA. But this is what happens when you have players with celebrity status well beyond the sport who generate massive interest, especially when race is part of the equation. Sad but true, race is a variable. Not the only variable, but a variable, and it does account for why RG3, of all people, got involved. It all started with the announcement of Angel Reese being the cover of the video game WNBA 2K26. This comes on the heels of Reebok announcing her new shoe, the Diamond Dust. Given how Reese is so polarizing, many did question why she, of all the WNBA players, is on the cover, not Caitlin Clark or a legit MVP candidate. NBA 2K general manager Zach Armitage told TMZ Sports, NBA 2K26 is celebrating the bold, the confident, and the visionaries. And WNBA All-Star Angel Reese carries all that and on and off the court. In her sophomore year in the WNBA, Angel Reese has made waves, created impactful conversations, and inspired the next generation. She's a storyteller and has helped the WNBA grow its audience. Now, the NBA version of the game, just for comparison, has Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the league MVP, finals MVP. The Legends game has Carmelo Anthony, Angel Reese on the females side of things. So let us know what you think. Join in on the fun, the conversation, the comment section. Should Angel Reese be on the cover of the WNBA's 2-6 video game? Good, bad, disagree, whatnot. Let us know your thoughts. And as you would imagine, there's been some reaction on social media. Thus, time for a heat check. A lot of people chiming in, as I mentioned. Professional golfer Haley Ray Ostrom. I will never understand this. You have a generational player in your league, and it's not Angel Reese. Clearly referencing Caitlin Clark. You know, there are other players in the W besides those two, like Nafisa Collier, the MVP betting favorite. NBA memes replacing the ball in the cover with a brick. Clever, yes, but low-hanging fruit. Look, we know Angel Reese is popular, more Instagram followers than any other WNBA player. So clearly, this is not just about basketball. I get it. However, her basketball skills always come into question in these types of situations. And while I understand it at first glance, some of this needs to just stop. So much attention is on what she doesn't do instead of what she does do, like lead the league in rebounding as a rookie and then now in her second season. If it were so easy, others would do it. They're not. And I get the criticism with her offensive game and the me-bounds. If you take away all her offensive rebounds, not just her own, the me-bounds, she still leads the league in rebounding. So that means she has more defensive rebounds than any other player has total rebounds. She's doing something right. She's also a good passer for her position, the power forward. Decent score, not the go-to score, but no one has a flawless game. I have no issue with Angel Reese's game, especially 1.5 seasons into a professional career. It's ridiculous how much people stress or focus and fixate on what is not part of her game versus what is. Now, after all that, the day got really strange with RG3, the former ESPN analyst, former Heisman Trophy winner. He has over 2 million followers on X, and he chimed in. Now, he did retweet something that was a very racist tweet, and he wanted to comment on that, which made sense. He said there's no place for racism, things like that. Fine. But then he kept going, and he interjected himself into the story. And then on top of that, he furthered it by saying that someone in Angel Reese's circle has recently called him and said that Caitlin Clark is someone she hates, and she's so sick of being compared to her. Where did this come from? Out of nowhere. Well, that wasn't just going to go unattended to. So fireworks start to happen a week after the 4th of July. Reese's mother on X. Man, stop with the cap. My daughter's circle is so small and tight, so I'd be interested to know who called you. Whomever you say called you is not in her circle to speak of her feelings towards a media fandom made-up beef. Just stay on that side because the doors are closed over here. Later, Angel Reese herself got involved on X with a similar take, lying on this app when everybody knows the first and last name of everybody in my circle for clout is nasty work. RG3 seemingly trying to end the convo and perhaps backpedal, diffuse things, and just call it a day, turns to the racial component of the hate tweet because no one can argue with that, right? Just wants to bury the hatchet. Quote, "We need more people ready to build bridges between us and not walls to divide us. The only way to find unity is talking through our differences in opinion and life experiences to find the best way forward." Well, that's when Bernice King, the CEO of Martin Luther King Jr. Center for Nonviolent Social Change, tweeted, "I agree. That's why I suggest you call Angel Reese and stop posting about her." The proverbial mic drop. It's bizarre. The WNBA is on such an exponential hike of popularity that others outside of it are trying to piggyback. Now, I'm fortunate to have been following this league and hosting halftimes and things like that, coverage 15 years ago at ESPN, something like that. So I've been involved in this forever in terms of a fan, and then certainly as a sports bettor. But there's people on the periphery who are trying to stay relevant who are getting involved. And yes, everyone can have an opinion, and that's why we ask for your opinions here in the comments section. But it's bizarre to see someone all of a sudden just make it about themselves. I like RG3 as an analyst. This one was a head scratcher. So this is all in one day. Here's Angel Reese trying to talk about her new shoe, be on the cover of a video game. Everyone's saying she shouldn't be on it. Not everyone, but a lot of people. And then this random thing about her hating Caitlin Clark. What is going on? Just bizarre sequence. It is what it is. But this is a sign of the times. They are a fast-growing, just rocket ship growing popularity. And they're going to have things like this, fires to put out. And this is part of being popular. It's all sort of the growing pains. And we even saw it with Sophie Cunningham bad-mouthing basically Cleveland and Detroit. And it got notoriety. It moved the needle in terms of the ratings. So everyone's going to have to just learn to adapt. And certainly Angel's more polished than most. Caitlin Clark has. They've been in the spotlight forever. But the rest of the league is learning just what happens with attention. No doubt the marquee matchup took place in the desert. Vegas, we all know, the entertainment capital of the world. And it's no coincidence that the opening night of Summer League featured the #1 overall draft pick, Cooper Flagg, against Bronny James in primetime, not during the day in the side gym. Marquee event, ticket prices were hiked, and it was in primetime on national television. Like I said, no coincidence. Electricity in the arena. Courtside seats as high as $3,000 plus, average price $223. And right out of the gates, 20-year-old Bronny James lighting up the 18-year-old Flagg, step back bucket, then a three-pointer. But truthfully, overall, each guy was pretty underwhelming. Bronny, 2 of 8 shooting, including 1 of 6 from downtown, missing what would have been a game-winning three-pointer in the final seconds. Flagg, just 10 points on 5 of 21 shooting. And when there's buzz in the arena, there's buzz outside the arena as well on social media. So time now for a heat check, and there were some funny reactions across everyone, because not everyone could make it to the gym, even though it seemed like so many basketball minds were there. There were certainly fans watching. And the post moves of Cooper Flagg backing down Bronny James, that caught people's attention, no doubt. DeMarcus Boogie Cousins just staring down Karl Anthony Towns in the post, courtesy of T Black. And yeah, it did look like that at times where Bronny was just unfazed. This one's pretty good. Seed's attorney. Bronny comes out and Coop scores 8 straight, noticing, and it was Mikal Bridges in a video kind of shaking his head and smiling. Yeah, Bronny playing some D. And then Sopranos world. Bronny James was only being in the league out of respect for his father, with a picture of the character Jackie Jr., who did so much out of respect for his late father, Jackie Aprile. So really good stuff there in the heat check. So Flagg, just 10 points, 5 of 21 shooting. So he's a bust, right? Of course not. But whenever there is a no-brainer #1 overall pick, I often ask myself, is he guaranteed to be the best player in the draft? Would I take him or the field? Not necessarily just the second overall pick, because forecasting basketball talent at such a young age is very, very difficult, painfully difficult. But I will say the NBA has gotten it much better of late. So I'm saying Flagg is guaranteed to be the best player in this draft, partly because of how he played at Duke, also Team USA. What's the percentage? Let us know on YouTube that Flagg is not the best player in this draft. 10%, 30%? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. I'm curious what percentage. You get the field, except for Flagg. Let me know. Because I will say in recent years, the NBA has nailed it. I'll take away last year, because that had Alex Sarr, wasn't a no-brainer. But before that, we've had some consensus #1s and some questionable, down between 2 or 3 guys. And the NBA has nailed it the last 5 years. Go back to 2 years ago, Wemby. There's others potentially, but Wemby's the guy for sure in that draft. 2022, Paolo Banchero to Orlando. Could have been Chet, could have been Jabari Smith. Banchero, late surprise. 2021, Cade Cunningham. All right, 2020, Ant. Ant was not a no-brainer. There was James Wiseman in the discussion, but he's been the guy. Now, 2018, it's Zion, and he's the most talented, except for injuries. Now, before that, we had Ayton, Fultz, Ben Simmons. Certainly, they have not delivered. So like I said, the last 5 years where there's been a legit #1 and not the Alex Sarr year, I think the NBA front offices collectively had delivered. But we'll see. I mean, I think 2020 and 22 are the most impressive. It wasn't a no-brainer like Flagg situation. James Wiseman, the 7-footer, athletic, certainly in the mix. And Banchero, man, it came down to the final day. So really impressed stuff. Chet Holmgren could maybe take over down the road, surpass him. Jabari Smith, same. But Banchero's a ride for sure. Time will tell whether the league has sort of solved this unsolvable puzzle. But recent history certainly indicates that they've taken a giant step forward. Fans in the stands is when we hear from you, our audience, the fans in the stands. And we want you to know that we care about what you think. Let us know what you like, dislike, what you want to see more of, less of. Please chime in. Join the conversations, we like to say. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. I want to highlight a couple people that had some interesting comments in our most recent episode. Eric says, I miss the day when players like Michael Jordan played for one team, mostly, and was forever tied to that city. Where will LeBron's statue be raised? Cleveland? Great show. And I like exactly what Eric said. I agree in theory, right? It's a perfect world if everyone has a successful career in terms of the great players and stays with their teams, like Magic, like Bird, even Dirk in the modern era, right? It's awesome. Doesn't always happen because LeBron gave the front office of Cleveland a chance to deliver. They were incompetent. What did they deliver? Ilgauskas, Mo Williams was the big acquisition. They made it out to be like Clyde Drexler. They were putzes. They botched everything. And yes, they did overspend sometimes, Larry Hughes and some other guys. But the team he carried to the finals in 2007 was an absolute embarrassment. And later, they just never put pieces around him. So I have no issue with his going to Miami. Now, I do have issue with televising it and twisting the knife in the hearts of Cavs fans. That was not the way to go about it, but he had every right to leave. He fulfilled his contract, didn't demand a trade early, and just realized he accepted the unfortunate nature that this front office was unable to deliver the surrounding talent that he needed to go win a title. So he went to Miami. Did he ring chase? again, he was the finals MVP. He was the guy. And he came back to Cleveland, did it again. He did it with the Lakers in LA. I get it. In a perfect world, he would have done it with the team. But look what the Lakers and Celtics did for their stars, Magic and Bird, and then what the Bulls did with Jordan. They actively put the right pieces around him so these stars didn't have to leave. I guarantee you these stars would have gone elsewhere if the front offices did not deliver Hall of Famers. Look at Kobe. He almost went to Chicago because the front office wasn't doing anything. Then they went and got Pau Gasol from Memphis, who was being run, by the way, at the time by Jerry West, the guy who originally drafted Kobe. So it's a little fishy there, but those guys would not have stuck around if their front offices acted like the Cavs front office did with LeBron. But it's a great conversation, great question. Appreciate the thought. Let us know your thoughts on all these shows, and I'd be happy to mention some of them here in Fans in the Stands. Michael chiming in, free agency is fine. Draymond, a.k.a. the growing kicker, should just play. The players are getting their fair share. Draymond is just upset that the Golden State Warriors didn't get any superstars and Bob Myers is gone. This is in response to what Draymond's tweet diary the other night, saying that he thinks free agency is over now with the new collective bargaining agreement. And I explained that I didn't think it was. It's just the teams are adapting to the new CBA rules. Sometimes it takes time. There was no available cap space this summer by anyone except for the Brooklyn Nets. Next summer, we'll see, and teams are slowly adjusting to what they can tolerate with the new CBA parameters. It's essentially a hard cap with the first and second aprons. So Michael telling the growing kicker to just pipe down. And by the way, the Warriors haven't made a single transaction as of now. So that's part of the equation. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Hard Pass. We so appreciate you tuning in. And gosh, what a wild day in the W with random tweets and then star power and everything. And then Bronny versus Cooper Flagg in the showcase evening of the opening night, or showcase game of the opening night of the Vegas Summer League.